Greetings! Let's talk about configuring your booth for an Airmeet event sponsored by NCOPE. There are a couple of ways to access your booth, but the easiest way? Just keep the email handy that was sent to you about setting up your booth via Airmeet. If you've already set up your booth and initially created the user account, you'll be able to click on this button again. Don't worry, it's active. When you click that link, it'll open up your browser and allow you to access your booth. Since a username and password's already been created for this account, you should be able to just simply click Go to Booth. Once you do that, go ahead and enter the email address linked to your account and hit Continue. You'll be prompted for a password in just a moment, and you can go ahead and enter the password that you created when you first started to log into Airmeet. And in just a few seconds, we'll be able to see Airmeet load up our booth. Just be patient. When setting up your booth, you don't necessarily need to enable your camera and microphone, but I recommend doing it because what it'll do is your browser will remember whether you want to have your microphone and camera on or off while using Airmeet. And during the actual event, you're going to want to have your camera and microphone on. So we're going to go ahead and click Enable Camera and Microphone. Once you do that, you'll actually be greeted by your booth. And if you haven't completed the setup yet, it's going to look something like this. You'll have your organization's name listed and not a whole lot of other information. But that's really easy for us to tweak. Don't worry. Let's go ahead and edit our booth information. Without further ado, I'm going to click Edit Booth Info. And you have the ability to upload a card image, which is a larger image that will sit in the background, and a logo. You'll see that it defines the size that the images should be. So in the logo case, we're going to go 400 by 96 pixels. I'm going to click my Browse button real quick and view my desktop. And we can go ahead and have our image uploaded. I'm also going to go ahead and upload my card image as well. So let's go ahead and double click. And now we have our background image as well. The booth can be further customized if you'd like by entering the custom view. But for the most part, I think you'll find it useful to work with the default perspective. Now that our visuals are starting to look a little better, we have a few other options. If your organization has a YouTube video that talks about your organization, you're welcome to place it here. But most of you are probably going to leave this blank. Instead, let's start with a short description. I'm going to go ahead and enter our organization's mission statement. So let's go ahead and paste in our mission statement. And for a full description, we can actually have up to 300 characters. So I have a brief description about what NCOPE does. I'm just going to paste that text in right here. Let's go ahead and paste that text in. And on the left-hand side, you'll see it even adds an example. You can preview what you're doing along the way. Now let's go ahead and keep scrolling, as there's a few other things that we can tweak on our booth. First of all, I recommend turning on the Register Interest button. It'll be on by default. This allows individuals to identify that they're curious about learning more with your organization. So if you're a future residency site for a potential resident, they can identify they'd like to potentially be a resident for you. And it shares with you their contact information, email address, and other things within their profile. By default, it will have a simple text statement that says let's connect and a button that says I'm interested. So it's going to look something like this. If we wanted to actually change the text, we can say connect with us. And it would appear something like this. Now let's go ahead and scroll down. Let's go ahead and keep customizing our booth. Under the option here for provide offers, well, I recommend you leave that one off. That's more so if you're trying to sell something, and well, that's not the goal of this event, or any NCOPE event for that matter. But we can start doing is sharing some resources. So for example, the NCOPE residency standards are something that we like to share with individuals. And we have a direct link to that PDF that I'm just going to paste in below. And we can do it like so. Plus the nice thing is you can have additional resources. Just hit the Add More button if you want to put in a few more. Let's go ahead and finish this up with some social links. When entering your website address, make sure you enter HTTPS or HTTP, depending on how your website is served. And you can also add links to your LinkedIn organizational page, or your Facebook company page, or any of the other social media pages here. I'm going to go ahead and leave these blank, but you're welcome to actually take advantage of those as well. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at our preview area, we have a banner image, we have our logo, we have our Connect with Us button working as intended, we have a link to the Residency Standards resources, and some valuable information about our organization. Plus the best part is the day of the event, you'll have these tables for your organization so that you could actually have small group conversations with your future residents or people that just want to learn about your organization. All you need to do is make sure you click the Save Booth button at the very top. Once you do that, you'll be greeted by a slightly larger version of your booth. On that note, this is a really quick and somewhat basic tutorial. There's even more that you can do with the Airmeet platform. To do that, just click this little question mark at the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And you could actually search for a little bit of additional help. Just click the little magnifying glass here and search for booth. And the best part is you have step-by-step guides for booth exhibitors to set up their virtual booths. And it's going to go ahead and give you a whole lot more detail about some of the unique features and functions that exist within the Airmeet platform. On that note, to exit the tutorial, just click the large X, and we're back to where we started. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thank you so much for your time.